of blaming one side or the other stop if you could convey that to the president?
And the way that both of these people, Kash Patel and her, work hand in hand, believe it or not, is because the way that they will fix this is that they will that you will no longer be able to have speech, hate speech. Nobody should obviously, set out to be hateful, but there's a fine line there in perception many times of what one person to the next person, can say is hate speech, especially, when now we are saying truth as being hateful. Because some people would, they don't want to know, they don't want the truth. So then we decide, we're just not going to say those things. And that's not the answer either. So they are already in the active process of doing this. Attorney General Pam Bondi, there's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society, we will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech. So one of the things that's it's rather disgraceful is that we have anybody in this big of a position, this high of a position, that doesn't understand that the founders of this country said you had to allow hate speech. Otherwise, you're controlling speech. I mean, there's many things on the left, the rhetoric I can't stand. But I would say the same at this point for the right on Truth Social. I mean, in the past 72 hours, I've been called to see you next Tuesday over and over again. That's fine. But these are people, telling me, to burn in hell, demon. And so the rhetoric is on both sides. I think it's more on the left. And then it's leftists that have infiltrated MAGA and pretending to be MAGA that are now radicalizing the other side. So it's disgraceful that Pam Bondi is allowed to stay in her position because the founders literally said that if we say there can be no hate speech, then we're curtailing speech. But they don't care about this. They're all using Charlie Kirk's death to bring in their radical revolution, which is to overthrow the country and destroy the Constitution. Stephen Miller vows crackdown on left-wing domestic terror movement in Charlie's name. Yeah, I'm sick of the Charlie's name shit, okay? Charlie's movement was not MAGA. Did he attach it to MAGA? Yes. But his movement was something different. It was. These are never Trumpers. That a bunch of people on the right that claim that they're MAGA coming after me when I'm saying, no, they are never Trumpers. They're all doing this. Yeah, so they're going after a Michigan Democrat for calling Charlie Kirk a massive loser. So what? Just because Kash Patel, Bondi, all of that network wants to idolize this man doesn't mean that the rest of us have to. And I hate saying this stuff, because it's like this is a man that's been, killed, okay? And yet, even if I don't like him, and I didn't like him long ago. I mean, I personally thought he was a loser long ago. Does that mean the Trump administration will come after me? Well, apparently so. I mean, because even Laura Loomer, and I guess the site's been taken down now. There was a site called something about Charlie's murderers, and they were going after people online. Her and some other MAGA people going after people online and getting them fired for their job. Not because they were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, but because they were sharing their opinions of him and they didn't like it. Well, too effing bad. Don't act like you stand for the Constitution. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous Texas University student arrested, expelled for mocking Charlie Kirk assassination. Fuck around and find out, governor says. Oh, how cool you are. So none of these people care about the Constitution. They only care about radicalizing. And they've literally put Charlie Kirk onto a pedestal, and nobody asks the questions. And I get why nobody asks the questions, because it's like we want to be a people that don't ask those questions about, like, well, why did God, protect Trump but didn't protect Charlie Kirk? It's a simple why. And you'll get a ton of Christians that say, well, we don't understand the will of God. Yeah, no, I think we're supposed to understand the basics, though. I do. And I think what this world has done has taken people that truly were never walking with Christ. Because how do you know? Anybody can get on TV and be put into this major, I'm a Christian, okay? And if you don't pay close enough attention, you won't realize that there was some problems with him being a Christian, most especially when it comes to life. I would not go against God's word when it comes to life, okay? I just wouldn't. Not when life begins, put it that way. Charlie Kirk chose to say that let's just go with the science. They say it begins at conception. I'm not going to have an argument with radicals. Nobody in their right mind wants late-term abortion, but he was pushing a right-wing color revolution. No different than what the left is. It's why they serve each other. Now, before I show the girl behind me, because most of the right, and I've always been on the right, I've always been a conservative, will say this girl deserves it and whatever because that's all over Truth Social. You had it coming because they've been radicalized, okay? And they think they're on the moral high ground. And it won't be long before that side decides to do, that's the problem with the radicalization. But this disgraceful representative, Ashley Hinson, vile and indefensible, she should be fired immediately. This is a college-age student, like showing what trash Ashley Hinson is. Anyone who is celebrating the politically motivated assassination of Charlie Kirk, a husband and father to 2 young kids, shouldn't be anywhere near Iowa's school system. So, do I support, well, I'll show you what she said in a minute. Do I support it? No, but let me explain to you before I show it to you why she's saying it. Because many people have been pissed off because of Charlie saying this. A couple of years ago, Kirk made comments about some gun deaths in the U.S. being worth it. Yes, he did. To ensure the continued existence of the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, which is the right to keep and bear arms. So you have to understand, before you start saying that, what I'm going to show you this girl said, try to look at it from her eyes. Do I support getting rid of the Second Amendment? No, not at all. Of course not. But that was horrible what he said. He was basically saying, no, it's acceptable. The radical left goes radical. The radical right goes radical. Do you see? I mean, that's what both the sides are doing, and they are tearing the country apart. So this is what she said. I agree with you, Nick. Gun violence in this country is horrific and out of hand. Given Charlie's previous comments about their necessity to protect Second Amendment rights, though, this jackass got what was coming, and I'm happy he's rotting in hell. Now, the far right, radical right, will be like, yeah, but let's, just like Representative Ashley Hinson decided to call her out, okay, get her thrown out of school. She's expressing her opinion based on Charlie Kirk's words. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. What she's saying here. But do I agree with her right to say it? Yes. You can't have it both ways, people. You can't have it both ways. I said yesterday, the right, has become now no different than the left. Have they assassinated anybody? No. But don't get it twisted here, okay? This is the path to the same way the radical left goes. And they're not stopping.